The chest opens before the face ever moves. A tall faceless alien fills the cracked glass view, standing under red quarantine lights with its smooth sealed head lowered into shadow. No eyes blink, no jaw flexes, no throat expands. The body is vertical and still, long folded shoulder plates hanging beside a narrow torso while a glowing circular seam in the center of its chest begins to split. The seam dilates inward. Wet plates unfold from the place where a heart should be. Behind them is a dark pressure cavity, round and deep, lined with pulsing vein teeth that do not bite. They tighten and release in rhythm, drawing the chamber air toward the center of the creature's body. The mouth is missing from its face because it opens where the heart should be. Condensation trembles on the quarantine glass. Red light reflects across the wet floor. The alien does not step forward. It does not lunge. The sealed head remains blank, almost useless. The active organ is below it, opening wider with each pulse, as if heartbeat and hunger are the same event. A smaller pressure, prey organism slides against the glass wall behind it. The prey misreads the monster. It turns toward the smooth head, searching for a face, an opening, a threat it can understand, but the head stays closed. The predator's shoulder plates fold slightly outward, guiding the prey closer to the center line of its body. The chest aperture dims, then brightens, then pulses once hard enough to fog the glass. This species does not feed through a mouth, it feeds through circulation. The chest organ is both pump and aperture, both heart and intake. When it opens, the entire body reorganizes around pressure. Vein teeth around the cavity do not chew, they measure resistance. Layered feeding plates do not slice, they seal. The predator drinks through rhythm, not through bite. The prey is pressed against the chest, not crushed. Held, the folded shoulder plates close, just enough to keep it aligned with the circular opening. The chest heart pulses. The prey's outer membrane dents inward, then lifts, then dents again in time with the monster's core. Fine pressure mist leaks from cracks in the bay wall. The red lights flicker on the wet floor. The first feeding pulse misfires. The rhythm breaks. The vein teeth freeze halfway open. The dark cavity contracts too soon, and the prey slips partly away from the chest seal. The alien's smooth head tilts slightly, but no face appears. The failure is not facial, it is cardiac. If the pulse breaks, the aperture must close, and anything held against it is released before the feeding cycle completes. The chest seals halfway. The prey slides down the wet body, still alive, but changed. Its surface has flattened in places, drained of internal pressure. It moves weakly, not wounded by teeth, not torn, but softened by the broken rhythm. The predator stands still while its chest plates tremble, trying to restart the pulse. The quarantine bay answers with pressure failure. A crack crawls across the glass. Condensation beads jump outward. Red pressure lights deepen from warning glow to emergency stain. The reflective floor turns the predator into a double image, sealed head above, opened heart mouth below, and the dark aperture mirrored beneath like a second wound in the room. The pulse returns. This time, the seam opens wider. Inner feeding plates unfold behind the first layer, slick and dark, arranged in rings that pull inward rather than outward. They are pulsing vascular ridges, pressure-sensitive and alive, each one tightening when the prey's membrane touches the edge. The predator brings the prey back to its chest. The body barely moves. Solemnly, the shoulder plates shift, guiding the prey into alignment. The sealed head remains above the action like a useless monument. The chest aperture becomes the entire creature's center. The prey touches the dark rim, and the heart, mouth seals around it with wet, layered pressure. Pulse 1, the prey flattens. Pulse 2, the red lights flicker. Pulse 3, Mist bursts from the glass cracks, the creature feeds without swallowing. There is no throat, no stomach, mouth, no jawline hidden beneath the head. Everything enters through rhythmic pressure into the central circulatory cavity. Eating is heartbeat. Heartbeat is eating. The body cannot do one without the other. Then the pulse stutters again. The aperture holds wider than before. Vein teeth unfold fully, making the cavity look deeper than the torso should allow. The prey trembles against the seal. If the rhythm collapses now, the chest will shut and release it alive but drained. If the rhythm continues, the feeding plates will finish the cycle and the chest, heart will close with one final pulse inside. The predator corrects itself. Shoulder plates press inward. The chest cavity narrows. The vein, teeth pulse in sequence, not at once. One ring tightens, then the next, moving pressure inward. Like a dark wave, the prey's body loses shape. It becomes lighter against the chest, as if the force inside it has been pulled out without a bite. The glass bay fractures further. A red reflection breaks across the wet floor. The camera sees the predator through cracked panels, faceless head split by glass lines, chest aperture open, prey sealed against the core. The room exists only to contain the anatomy, and it is failing. The final feeding pulse begins. All lights drop except the chest glow. The aperture dilates to its widest point, and the dark cavity pulses once, slow and deep. The prey goes still against the seal, the vein teeth flatten, the layered feeding plates begin folding inward, not like a mouth closing after a bite, but like a heart returning to its sealed chamber. The prey drops away. It remains whole. That makes the feeding worse. No open wound explains what happened. No missing piece proves an attack. Its body is intact but collapsed, drained of pressure by a rhythm it could not resist. The predator's chest continues pulsing once more after release, as if the mouth is swallowing an invisible final pressure wave. Then the aperture closes, the wet plates overlap. The vein teeth vanish behind the circular seam. The glow narrows to a red line in the center of the chest, then to a point, then to nothing. The sealed head never opened. The smooth face never changed. The predator stands exactly as it did at the beginning, except the glass is cracked, the floor is wet, and the air still moves toward its chest. Zone pulse remains. It travels under the sealed skin like a hidden mouth remembering its shape. The final image holds on the faceless alien behind cracked quarantine glass, smooth head shut, shoulder plates folded, chest seam sealed cold and dark. While condensation trembles with the last heartbeat from the mouth where the heart should be.